All right. Hello. I'm gonna make a short review. I'm not a short review. But I'm gonna tell you what I thought of the documentary on Netflix called "American Murder of Gabby Patio." So episodes 1 and 2 kind of gives a glimpse of what, like, how they met, sort of. And then we find out that they both kind of had this creative side of both of them. And I think that's the one reason they kind of had to connect with each other. Um, and then she's episode 3 and 2 and 3. Towards the end of 2 and 3, we kind of get into the disappearance of Gabby and kind of how the after effect of the disappearance would happen, and then we would find out the end result. This is the first documentary of the series I watched. No, they have like 2 or 3 documentaries already, but all of them are on Netflix. My opinion is that it is a tragedy. The documentary does a good job. At the end, kind of, you at the end. Um, I'm going to spoiler alert. At the end, he kills himself, and I think at the end, there's no really happy ending per se. Um, it's more of a tragic ending. At the end, there was no. I feel many people, you come out more, not with questions, but you don't come out with answers. And I like how they don't present him as a monster, but at the same time, they kind of hint that maybe the problems in the relationship was that he always wanted attention from her, and he was very insecure. And then she had her own insecurities as well. So episode 1 and 2, I think, gives a fair portrayal of the bad sides of both of them. Well, not bad per se, but kind of the insecurities that would start to begin friction in the relationship. My opinion is that we will really, really never really know what happened. Um, Spoiler alert: in the third episode, he kind of writes a letter, but then there's a conflicting letter that is written by the mom also that kind of conflicts with what he says in his own letter. And then in the beginning of in episode 1, they kind of shed light a little bit on his relationship with his mother, and sort of it kind of hinted like it's a sort of a weird relationship because the fact that his mother almost, I think, Gabby's friend or someone she met, kind of said in the documentary to the point that that the Brian, which was the boyfriend that murdered Gabby or was involved with Gabby's disappearance, he kind of they kind of one of the persons that they're interviewing says that the mother was very, very. She kind of was jealous of the attention, I guess, that her son was giving to Gabby during the time she met the family, and she kind of says that the family was welcoming at first, obviously, but then as a little bit time starts to pass by, then the family, not the family, but the mother starts to become a little bit rude with Gabby, or like there begins a point, they even shed light on it. There's texts being sent back and forth between her and her friend that's interviewed, and she's talking in the text that they discovered, or I imagine somehow they found out in evidence. You see how Gabby's sort of she's uncomfortable around the mom, and she's just uncomfortable, kind of feeling like she's stuck in the middle, or kind of feeling like as if the mother has a grudge against her because somehow the mother just wants the son's attention all for herself. Also, at the end of the documentary, I think one of the most interesting things that the documentary did was to kind of shine light, which I thought I'm happy did not get more into, but a little bit about, Gabby's race. She was a white woman, obviously, and this was her her boyfriend or husband, fiance, whatever, at the time was white as well, and they kind of shed light how many women or many people are go missing every day and are never discovered or kind of not they're not put focusly attention in the public. And I think it was an interesting point, but I think the race thing was kind of ridiculous because but I did somewhat thought the fact that she was a white woman and that there's other people who go missing constantly every day that are indigenous minorities, men, women, children, and none of them get the attention of the media or none of them are even featured on any type of news. I thought was fascinating. I thought that it did have a point. I thought there was a point to reach there. Also, I think the point of the ending, one of the ending points of the documentary was to show um, how YouTube can kind of be pathetic, and how I like how we see her little moments of like editing, not editing videos, but we see little moments of her practicing what she's saying, and we see her editing. I thought that was fascinating because I think somehow we all have a glamorized view of YouTubers and YouTube, and we forget um, how it's just like scripted TV. It's not any different. Obviously, when you watch a video on YouTube, you're being manipulated, but somebody edited the video, so you're basically just seeing it from the editor's point of view, or whoever is doing the channel, you're seeing it from their own point of view. And I thought that was interesting that the documentary kind of showed how sometimes the YouTube thing is not always glamorous, or sometimes people forget that on YouTube we only see what you want to see, or we only see like a movie, you only see the finished product, but we never get to see how the movie's made. We never get to see. We're not there every day to see how things are being made or how the things are being edited or shot. And so, I think the documentary kind of shed a light on how sometimes we all have the idea of glamorization of YouTube or YouTubers, and we think, oh, it's such a great life when sometimes who knows? We don't know what the problems are going on behind people's lives, even if they choose to document it on YouTube or even choose to document it in any way or form. Um, I think one notable fact that the documentary does bring up at the end was the fact that she had less than 500 views, and when the murder happened, or the aftermath of the murder caused the video to suddenly explode, which I thought was pathetic. Again, it showed a light on our society and YouTube and how it's pathetic. It kind of made me question, you know, where the hell was YouTubers at this time, or why was this? Why didn't the YouTube community do more or even talk about it? But overall, I think if you like documentaries, you'll like this. I think if you like crime documentaries, you'll like this. I found it interesting. I don't think I'm gonna watch anything else from this series. I think this was the only one that kind of caught my eye, and I kind of was fascinated. Easily binge. You can binge this in one day. I binged it in 2 days. I saw two episodes in one day, and I saw the last episode another day. Uh, Overall, I highly recommend. It's worth checking out. Unless you really, really not a documentary person, then you're probably not gonna care about it. But check it out. It's called American Murder. Gabby, I can't say her name, so I'm not gonna even try. But it's very interesting point. There's a lot of interesting points. Um, I think it's just like I said. I think I don't think. I think what happened was that you had two people who um, maybe had similar connections or had similar things that they liked, and I think the documentary kind of hints that she wanted to leave him, or she kind of just wanted to do the YouTube thing herself only. And I think I think that there's an infamous footage of her when she got pulled over. I believe in Arizona. I think so, or somewhere in the desert where the cop is interviewing her. Now, in the video body cam of the cop, I don't think the cop didn't do anything wrong. I think he did his job, but I think in that body cam, her insecurity is finally shown. And I think these are just two insecure people. Um, I don't I in the documentary they kind of point out that he kind of his art was dark and that he liked shooting guns, whatever. I mean, I think in the end he claimed that she drowned and that he was a mercy kill. I don't know if that's the truth. I think in reality we will never know. We will never really know um, the deep stuff that was going on between both of them because, like I said, I think these are two people who I think did love each other. I don't think they did not love each other, but I think after being a while with someone, I think he was jealous and he kind of only wanted her for himself, and he only I think that was his insecurity, and I think her insecurity was that she kind of had some self issues. She always blamed herself um, for maybe him being mad at her or whatever the insecurity of was there. But check it out, guys. I think it's very eye opening. It's a very documentary, like I said, very balanced documentary that focuses on things and puts things in the limelight. Check it out, and that's my review.